I really want to make a Jack's analysis video for episode 7. How much time do I have? Oh, okay. I've been wanting to make this video since August, but given how many of these kinds of videos release post episode 6, all of which I still need to watch, I kind of got discouraged and abandoned the idea. But now, a whole 5 days before the release of episode 7, I have decided. Fuck it. 2 cakes, bitches. Or a little more than 2. A lot of cakes. So, without further ado, let's get into analysing the hell out of this damn rabbit. Specifically how he handles his fate and how it will doom him in the end. Something that's been slowly built up throughout the show and was heavily focused on within episode 6 is the concept of Jax dehumanizing both himself and the other humans within the circus. His very first line in the show was,
"Kane, is this one of your NPCs or is this a new sucker? Because if it's a new character, we're gonna have to redo this whole theme song."
Which is very emblematic of his ideology within the digital world, where he treats the cast as if they are simply characters within the show. Which of course they are, but not within the world itself. During episode 6, he assigns everyone archetypes, acting as if they're all able to be put into little boxes, something which the episode disproves throughout its entire runtime, even disproving Jax's own claims of his archetype being the funny one, through, yeah. I mean, if you ask his haters, they'd probably say that's the funniest he's ever been, but, you know. It's very much a way for Jax to be able to justify his mistreatment of them, as he's simply following his archetype. This is how things work. This is how he works. This is his role within the circus, and this is all he ever should be. They also allow him a semblance of control over the others, through him acting as if his interpretations of small aspects of their personalities is all there is to them, and anyone who views otherwise is in the wrong. Although that's something I'll touch on more later. Even beyond the archetypes, Jax is the one who embraces the digital world the most. He's the most willing to go along with adventures, he constantly performs cartoonish acts that none of the other humans would be caught dead doing. Heck, he doesn't even swear, something you'd very much expect from a guy like him. The first time he swears within the show is episode 6, when his mask finally breaks. The first time he doesn't conform to the dehumanization of the circus that he has embraced to protect himself from the fact that, deep down, he is still human, no matter how hard he tries not to be. Dehumanization as a concept is something very prevalent within the circus, working in tandem with the sanitization of everyone within it, despite them all being adults. Their control is taken from them, and they're forcefully sanitized for the use of bright colours, blocking child's avatars, and a filter used to censor any and all curse words. The other characters, excluding Gangle, still swear despite the filters, while the circus tries to block it out. They still know what they're saying, and they'd rather deal with the censoring than completely change their patterns of speech. This is shown the most with Zubul, who's the least willing to conform to the circus and is also deemed by the show itself as the biggest sailor mouth of the group. However, Jax just avoids it entirely. The rules of the circus say that anything can happen, except for swearing, and so why would he, a character within the circus, ever swear? Jax utilizes adaptability the way everyone else uses rebellion against the circus's whims to retain a sense of control. He can do anything in the circus, and he embraces that to the fullest extent he can, to the point in which he has allowed and actively encourages dehumanization rather than going against it. He uses cartoon logic and fiction tropes as an emotional crutch to deal with the world he's been trapped within by convincing himself that the dehumanization is something he cannot fight, that your humanity is stripped from you as soon as you enter, rather than acknowledging that it's something he could retain if he were to actually face his issues, the natural difficulties that come with being trapped in a place like the circus till the day he can't handle it any longer, something he is endlessly trying to prevent. Abstraction is something Jax is clearly afraid of. The hallway he runs in during the intermission is surrounded by the eyes of those who abstract, along with the only thing catching his attention during the sequence being the door belonging to his abstracted friend Ribbit. It's something he's desperately trying to outrun, a looming threat he needs to avoid at all costs. But if he is a part of this world, someone who fits in with its nature perfectly, then how could he lose his place in it? How could he ever get caught up in the desperation of escape like his friends did when he's made the choice to adapt, rather than fight what they all know to be true, deep down? That this is their final resting place, and the only way to retain their state of being is to embrace that this is how they ought to be, products of their environment that stick within its bounds rather than trying to break out, for all that does is strip them of their existence. The show has proven this ideology to be wrong, however, as through Pomni, it has begun to lay the groundwork that attempting to retain your humanity is far more effective in preventing extraction than rejecting it entirely. She's been able to adapt to the circus just how Jax did, yet she's done so while still being herself, rather than changing who she is to better handle everything going on around her. Editing Rainy here, of course this concept is kind of like delved into with the whole evil Pomni thing with episode 6, but like obviously that doesn't work out and that isn't retained. Her own struggles with abstraction are aided by her conversation with Kinga in episode 3, and in episode 4, she's able to prevent Gangel's own abstraction through a simple act of human kindness, whereas Jax spirals closer and closer towards it as he cuts himself off from anything that gets too human for him. As soon as he realizes Pomni is breaking down the walls of his character, his archetype, he destroys their relationship before she can do even more damage to it, despite clearly enjoying their time together. He'd rather completely separate himself from her than face the possibility of losing the defense mechanism that allowed him to last longer than the last people he allowed himself to connect with. Whilst Pomni's connections with characters like Kinga make her stronger and allow her to be able to accept her new way of life within the circus, maybe even begin to enjoy it, Jax's lack of connections continues to make him mentally weaker and weaker, something I doubt will improve anytime soon from what we already know about episode 7. Although his stubbornness will keep him on the path he's chosen, he can't outrun abstraction forever. In fact, he's unknowingly walking directly into its arms while thinking he's the one in control of his fate. He can only stay blind to his humanity for so long. After all, abstraction can only claim those who are human, no matter how much he wants to deny it. The circus may dehumanize him, but it has been preying on his humanity all along. I have so much more to talk about with this damn rabbit, but I want to get this out for episode 7, and I think I'd rather discuss other aspects of his character when we're aware of exactly how he ended up like this, as fun as it is to theorize. I hope you enjoyed and agree with my analysis, and if you don't, that's okay too. This is just the vibes I've gotten from what we have in the show so far. Feel free to tell me your own thoughts and interpretations in the comments. And before we end off, just wanted to mention that I have Digital Circus Roleswap AU on Tumblr. There's a ton of art, animatics, writing, and comics already up, so if the concept interests you, please do check it out. I'm cooking with Kinga's Double Trust. Thanks for watching!